Let's crack on. Yes, if you're ready for class, then give the video a like. Make sure you give that a like. There's 206 people I can see on here. There's 115 likes. Who are the grumpy bum people that don't want to give a free video guitar lesson a like? Look, so that's what we're doing. I'll just remind you. It's easy arpeggios to spice up your solos. These are foundation solos, these ones, guys. Page 64, lesson 58. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these two shapes. Now, the thing is, these two shapes, come from, they come from the A shape. Now, what I'm going to do, though, quickly, before we get into this, I'm going to explain this. Now, I hope that my mic stays on here. Let me just check. Yes, my mic is still on. Wonderful. Right, okay. So I've got some paper. Here, and I'm just going to explain something. I'm going to get into this, and I hope I don't want to go too close to the mic because I don't want to give you Barry White vibes, and you know, you're getting too excited, right? I just need to state this. I say this all the time: the order of the tonality of the chords in the major key. Yes, we know this. I told you to memorize it. I said, hang on, I'm going to look at you. I said to you, what I want you to do is when you're making a cup of tea, or you know, you're in the back garden picking up dog poop or whatever, as you're doing it, just say to yourself, the order of the tonality of the chords go major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Does that make sense, guys? Do you remember me saying that? Do you remember me saying that? If you do, then just put it in the chat there, okay? Let's do this, okay? So we're going to do this here. But what I want to do is, the thing is that thank you, Marcel. That is for the major key. So look, it goes like this. It goes major. I'm going to use a capital M there for a major sound. I'm going to use lowercase, just like we do with Roman numerals, guys. Yes, so major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and diminished. Okay? Does this make sense? So we've got that there. Now, the thing is, remember that this first one, is our key chord. Okay? Right? But now what we've got to do is, that's linear. And a lot of people don't realize that the major, this is a nugget, this is a golden nugget. People don't realize that this is, the minor is exactly the same thing. The minor's the same thing. And actually, Three Dogs Brewery said something there. Remember it, forwards and backwards. You should know it backwards as well. So you go diminished, minor, major, major, minor, minor. I think it's interesting just to look at this groupings. So you can see there's two minors together and there's two majors together. That's super useful for when you're picking out songs and you want to know what key the song is. If you can find the two major chords that are a step apart, or two minor chords that are a step apart, that's a big clue as to what key you're in. So as well as that, but the thing is, this is linear, like I say. And yes, learn it backwards and forwards like that. But here's what we want to do. What people don't realize is that the minor is really just an inversion, yes, of the major. So really what we do is we start on the minor for the minor key, then we get the diminished chord, then what happens is we get a major, then we get the two minors, then we get the major major, and we have the chords in the minor key. It's the same chords, right? So I want to explain this to you because the lesson that we're going to get into is going to help us. Yes, it does, Rocket. Minor starts from the 6 steps. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there, that's the relative minor. So that is the same as that. Yeah? And then what you could even do is you could even think that if you look at the 3 in the minor, that is the start of the major. So that's the relative major. So you've got the relative minor and you've got the relative major. So they're basically two sides of the same coin. And look, there's that grouping of 2 minors and grouping of 2 majors that live together like that. And this is a sort of a linear expression, isn't it? Well, guys, you know how much I like circles. I think that this is a better way of looking at it because there's so much we can tie into this as well. But it'll just help you to realize and open it up so that you think to yourself, it's not just something. Although this lesson from the book here, you see it says the top there, it says key, C major, and you can see it's got C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and B diminished. Yeah? If you look at that at face value, you might think to yourself, well, that's just in a major key. But it isn't. It isn't just a major key. Because if you think about it in the inversion sense, then what you'll do is you'll see that it's actually the minor is in there, but it's just a little bit hidden because you have to reorganize everything. But let me show you a way to do that with a circle. So what we're going to do is if I just write out that major, and then I go with those little M's that I had before, minor, minor, if I could draw one, right, I'm a pen malfunction now, major, minor, I'll tell you what, just to make it clear, I'll do it as major, minor, minor, right, and then what happens is I get major, I get minor, and then I get diminished. And this is part of something that I call the diatonic tonality cycle. And I've done that in a lesson a while ago. But look, it's another way of just visualizing your chords. But here's the thing. This is your major key. So what you can do is you can look at that. That's your major key. And just, like Rocket said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you come here, then you can see this is your minor key. So you get your minor key just there. So there's two spots that you can see there. Look at that. Really nice and easy way to see that. And that isn't linear, okay? I do love circles. I really love circles. So the thing is, this linear way, if all you knew was the major went major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, yeah, it's kind of one of those things, when you don't want 1 and 1 to make 2, you want 1 and 1 to make 11. So this is the thing. That's what we're doing here. We're turning that into this way of looking at it. And that's what I call the diatonic tonality cycle. Now, you can be really clever. You could be really, really clever, and you could think to yourself, well, hang on, that's going to be chord 1, that's going to be chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, chord 7 in the major. But if you look at it in the minor, this is chord 1, this is chord 2 diminished, this is chord 3, which is major, which is chord 4, which is minor, chord 5, which is minor, chord flat 6, which is major, chord flat 7, which is in that major as well. So the thing is, this little side circle thing, it's really going to help you. Phil says, is it correct that we should think of all 3 major chords in the minor scale as flat third 6? The 3 major, I'm kind of trying to figure out exactly what you mean there. Is it correct that we should think of all 3 major chords in the minor scale as flat? Yes, flat third, flat 6, flat 7th. Yes, it is. Because that becomes important when you do parallel modes and you want to, you could do that, Andrew. If you want to think about this and you want to start borrowing chords from parallel modes, then that's going to make so much sense, because what happens is you start to get something called chromatic, they tie into chromatic medians, okay? I'm not going to get into that today, okay? Paul says, but my strings are linear. But your brain isn't, though. Your brain, it handles these circle things. So yes, Andrew, what I would say, Andrew's put something up there. And it's like, let me just put this mode circle Andrew's put there. Okay, so what you could do is you could associate, and this is going to be the same for the major or the minor key. You associate the mode with it. You see, this is a tangent. So we got there, and we know that the major key, the chord 1, yeah, that's going to be Ionian, or the major. Yeah, this is going to be Dorian. This would be Phrygian. Okay, this would be Lydian. This would be Mixolydian. This one would be the mode with all the vowels, Aeolian. And then this would be Locrian, Why Would You Ever Want to Play It? You know, so we've got all those there, guys. So you could do, you could look at this like this, and that's a useful way to look at it. But the thing is, this is just the way that I'm just trying to give a bit more scope in this, guys, so that you can actually get a bit more mileage out of these shapes, okay? Daryl says, yeah, diminished is flattening the fifth. Yes, it is. It is. It's flattening the fifth. Okay, right. So now back to the old guitar. So like I said to you, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly, I'll play through the shapes in the book that I showed you. Oh, now here we may have an issue, but wasn't expecting that. Hopefully I'm still fairly loud and proud there. I'll just scoot over that way a little bit more. That's why we have the hangy down microphone. That's why we do that. So let me just put this on here and let's see if we can switch over into zoomed mode, because I might be able to cut a bit of that microphone out. Let's go. Boom! Oh, look, hang on, no, over that way. That's it, because you've got to go the opposite way on camera. So, like I said, so what we've got, basically, we're gonna use the A shape, yeah? The bog standard A major shape. That's what we're gonna do. Now, the thing to know about this is, because the chords that we've looked at so far, tonality-wise, yeah, they've been very, very simple, haven't they? Major, minor, and then we've got a single diminished wobbly bob there, right? So we've got that there, right? But what we're going to do is we're just going to use these here. The A major shape. Now, ordinarily, you can play it. There's lots of ways, different ways to play it. But that's my preferred way of playing the A major shape. Now, this is the fifth, the root, and the third. If we flatten the third, we get the minor. Okay? Now, those are the shapes. Now, if I took this shape here, and I'll use my third finger, that's an A. Chords move like notes, okay? So that's an A. If I move it up a whole step, it becomes a B. If I move it up a half step, it becomes a C. And I'm only playing the D, G, and B string there, so... Okay? Got that there. Got that there. Now, if I played this as a bar chord, you can see that that's a C bar chord. Okay? Now, if I change it into the minor, you can see I get the C minor bar chord. And the shapes that I actually want are part of those 5-string chords. Because look, when I play that C chord there, I want just those 3 notes there. Yeah? Now I know these become really easy for me to remember now, and what I can do is I can think to myself, well, that's my major shape. Now if I move this up a whole step, because the beauty of this is the whole major scale is going to live on this G string here. So if I go from here, this is Do, Re, Mi, Fa. So I can move up like this. So that's the root, third, fifth. We've got the root, third, fifth there, okay? So if I move up a whole step, I get chord 2. Okay, there's chord 2. Moving up again a whole step, I get chord 3. Moving up a half step, I get chord 4. Moving up a step, I get chord 5. Moving up a whole step, I get chord 6. And then I've got to be careful on this one. Watch this one. We get the old diminished here. If you think about that minor, it goes root, flat third, fifth. If I flat the 5, then that gives me my diminished shape there. Good little shape to learn. Okay, so there. And then I'm up at the dusty end of the neck, but if you notice how my dots are arranged 3, 5, 7, 9, then all I need to do is think 3, 5, 7, 9, even though I know it's 15, 17, 19, and 21, and I go, and I'm back to where I started, but an octave higher. So this is chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, chord 7, chord 1. And I can keep going until I... Ooh. So I can keep on running up and down those until until I run out of neck. And the idea is, yes, you can integrate these guys, so you can play them. And in the original lesson, what I did was I said that, you know, you could think about this because this is C major. You know, I could play this with my pentatonics, but then add this little idea here. These little triad patterns are very, very simple, but the thing that we're looking at them for, guys, the main reason I want you to look at these is I want you to think of these as being foundation blocks. These are foundation blocks. Like I say, how do you eat an elephant? You don't consume it all in one go. Yes, they are triads, George. They are triads. So we're just playing the triads up the neck. But what we want to do is we want to flesh them out. We want to be able to flesh them out, and we want to make them sound more interesting. And this is why this lesson is this lesson's fantastic. If I say so myself, because the thing is, the way I think about it is like if you can do this, yeah, and you can see this shape. Is this an easy shape? Let me zoom in, guys. I just need you to see. I need you to see this. Is this an easy shape to see and play? It's not hard, is it? Because this is why I'm saying, okay? But this makes triads more interesting because we're not going to stick with triads, guys. We're going to use this as a foundation to build on something else. Let me show you what we're going to do. And then what I'll do is I'll go through each of these. I'll go through each of these chords, okay? Okay? So we've got that there. We've got the root, the third, and the fifth. And that's crucial to know. You need to understand root, third, fifth. But that's nice and easy. So we've got that there. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to... Let me just move that out of the way. And I'm going to show you. I think I've got a nice little handout here. This will be it going in PDF Club. The lesson PDFs for PDF Club. Those are the shapes that I was just playing there, guys. The PDFs, they go into PDF Club. So, but the first thing I'm going to show you is I want to make this more interesting. This shape here, I want to make it more interesting. And the way I do that is to turn a triad. I'm going to use a triad as my foundation. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the seventh. Now, I'm thinking of this... yeah, as being, like I say, chord 1 in the major. Yes, so it's chord 1. That's major. All right, and we're sticking to this idea of it being C here. So now what I've done is, you can see I've just added that flat 7 there. So let me just show you what that looks like on guitar. So if I go like this, I go root, fifth, root, third, fifth. Now I've got this note here. So I know exactly where my 7th lives because my chord 1, I know it's a major 7 chord. That when I take a triad and add an extra note on, yes, and then what happens is you get 7th chords. Okay, if you've seen the 7th chord lesson, then you'll realise that this is what's going on. But then what we do, we can add that 7th on an octave higher as well, which is pretty darn cool. Oh, my diagram's a bit cooked with that one. Let's have a look. Oh, am I going to struggle with this? I'm going to have to maybe add some bits on here. Let me just do this here. And that's going to go there. That's fine. We can do this. We can engineer it. So what we could do now is you can see just using that little triad shape as a foundation, yeah? So that's the foundation. And we're going to dress it up by adding one note, which is this 7th, yeah? Yeah, so, okay. So now we have a bigger pattern, but we can reliably point to it because we know that this is chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4. So there's back to chord 1 again. There. Oh, hang on, you didn't even see me play that. You just heard it. So let me play that again, guys. So there's chord 1, chord 2, chord 3. There's the chord 1, yeah. So you've got to remember those formulas for your chords, because that's what you do. A good chef will know recipes in the head. They know how to make a roux sauce. They know how to make everything in there. And this is the thing, and that's what your scale formulas and your chord formulas are all about. They're your recipes, guys. And once you know those, then they can help you. So there you go. Look. There's the shape. Now, the thing is, that's pretty cool, okay? Okay? That's just for that chord. In fact, let me just put this over here and I'll just show you what this does. Here's a C major chord. How that works on top of that. Okay, so we've got that there. Did that sound okay? Was that balanced between the guitar and the backing track? Hopefully it was. So we've got that. Now what we can do is, there's a bit missing. I think there's a bit missing with this. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is what we have is we need to add another part to this, and what I like to do, and it's in the thumbnail actually, the secret is in the thumbnail, I like to add another note here and have 3 notes on this. Oops, I have 3 notes here on the thin E string. Okay, the 3 notes there on the thin E string there. Now what that adds is it just gives me a little bit more colour, but now I have a complete sort of idea that I can use for that 1 chord. Okay, this is just a C major chord and I can tart it up. Now this could be with a regular C major chord underneath it. Yeah, and that 6th sounds lovely. Okay, so that's what we've got. That's the little pattern. But we're not done. But we are not done, guys, because let me just switch over. Because we've built this here now. But now what I want to do is I want to build on this. I want to build with something extra. I want to build something extra with this. No, Anik, this isn't the relative minor of those. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yes, you could think of it in that way, but don't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate it. Stick with me with this one. What we want to do is we want to build in this little shape, and this is a great little shape, and I think all guitarists need to learn this little shape here. And what it is it ties in this triad. I'm going to get a marker out, a little highlighter out for this, because it's really, it is that important for me to point out for you. Because I see everything is on guitar is about shapes. Look at this. Root, third and the 5th there. And what happens is we get this little triangle there. And now what I can do is I can add that to the pattern as well. Let me just shift back over to guitar. Right, so we started off with the, and now all we need to do now is we've segmented it, we've broken it down into chunks. If we look at the components, break it down into 4. So watch this, guys. We've got the triad, got where the 7th lives, and then we have that extra note on the thin E string, and then we get the triad here. Max, I'm not thinking about any of that stuff. I'm not thinking about any of that stuff. I'm focusing on the tune. I'm focusing on the sounds. And you could, and look, I've got this here. I'll play that chord again. You know, I could play each note, sit on it, and see what mood it evokes. There's the 3rd. 5th is transparent. 6th provides a bit of tension. Yeah. So you could call that, you could kind of, yeah, call it a C major 13. But what you can see is you get this. You get this little pattern there that enables you to explore that chord there. Now that's just the first chord here, guys, okay? It's kind of, it's not a full major scale really. I don't think of it as a full major scale. I've got the 7th, the root, and then I jump in over here to the 3rd. So I'm not including the 6th. Now, let me just show you something. Although there is this pattern here, which is a useful, you know, you should learn that little shape there. It's really important for arpeggios and little flashy bits and stuff. It's just a nice little fragment to learn. But what we also might need to do is look at this. If I show you this here, what you can do is you can make this a little bit longer. Instead of having the 3rd there, what you can do is you can have the 3rd up here, 2 steps above, okay? So you could go 2 steps above, and I'll just write this separately on here. Like I said, this is going to be going out for the PDF club folks. And then what you'll see is you get a different triangle, but it's just a little bit wider. And this is 7th arpeggios. Yes, Rocket. These are the 7th arpeggios, and these just add a bit more colour. But what we're doing is we're adding some extra colour in there. Now, so here's the thing. Would 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th work with any chord in the scale? Yeah, it can do, but it's going to create different kinds of tension. It's going to create a different kind of tension. Now, here's the next piece of the puzzle, and this is an important thing, I think, because what this does is that this brings style into it. So I'm just going to do these as just open circles here, because these guys here, these notes that I've put in there, it doesn't mean you just play you know, one after the other sequentially. The way I look at these is I look at these as approach notes. Yes, so these are half step approach notes. Okay, so we've got these half step approach notes, and that means that this note here could go down to that one. It can go up to this one. This one here can go down to that one, and that can go up to this one. And wherever you have a step, and you can fit what I call a not note. I call them not notes, yeah, because they're the notes you're not meant to play. But the thing is, the not notes are where the tension works. Are these spread triads? I suppose you could kind of think of them as spread triads, but no, this is a kind of a... I'm thinking of this as basically, how do you build on a basic triad pattern? Yes, so let's do this again. I'll shift back to guitar. I'll play the C major chord again. Okay. So remember, on that thin E string, what we had is we've got the 5th, 6th, and we've got the 7th here. Okay. Okay. There. But what we're going to do is the not notes, which are the notes that aren't part of the chord or any of this idea. What we do is we use them as approach notes to slide into the notes. So now what you can find is you get something with a little bit more style. Let me do it here again. you can hear that we get those kind of brings knots in your fingers. Now you can, this is born from this idea, this chord that's just about to run out. Okay, so here, so we've got this here. What you can do is, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you've got any little triad like this, what you can do is you can use these half-step approach notes from below. Yeah, so there's the C major triad there. And that works really, really well. So it's a similar idea, really. So what? I'm on the 5th to the 6th. So it can be a nice way to reorganize your fingers, yeah. But it will give you that jazziness. But that major 7 chord's going to bring jazz to the party all day long. Our tension notes, the not notes from part of the extended triad. These not notes are not part of the key. If you listen to those not notes, but listen, when I do that, if I stay on them, you don't want to land on them. You approach notes within this framework, this pattern here, guys. Yeah, because like I say, look, we got the triad. Let's break it down. So we've got it. It works in steps. Let's look at it. Break it down like the elephant. We've got to eat it in chunks. We've got the triad. We've got the 7th that we can add there. Then what we can do, we can add that extra scale tone, scale degree there. Add it to the chord as well, and then build it out with the root 3rd 5th in that manner with this pattern. Yeah, and then we can, or we can play it like this, where we go up 2 tones to get to the 3rd, which can be a nice way of doing that. See that? You can even add the 2nd in there if you wanted to. But what I like about this particularly is this thing. There's a great guitarist called Tim Miller, and he did a thing called 2-1-2s, and I like that idea. And basically the idea is you play 2 notes on 1 string, yeah, and then what you do is you play 1 note on the next string, and then you play 2 notes on the next string. So you go 2, 1. Oh, now you can put a 3 in it. 2, 1, 3. Yeah, we can put that in there, and that's a 2, 1, 2, and then we've got a 2 there. It's quite very tempting to play that middle note there. So that takes care of this shape here, right? Okay, but the thing is, we don't want you to just have it as a one-trick pony thing, just in that shape, do we now, guys? We want to be able to play it in the key. In fact, we want to be able to scoot around that whole major minor thing. And when we can do that, that means we can adapt this and we can play it in both major and minor key. Okay? Okay, so you don't need to overthink it too much, okay? Don't overthink it. You can think about it, what's happening. Yeah, you can analyze it. But okay, so now we're going to look at chord 2. But let me go back to my my lady dianagram. We'll go over here, and what we're going to do is this. We're going to think of this as chord 2 in the major, yes, despite knowing that it's actually chord 4 in the minor as well. But so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. Now this is going to be a flat 7 here. Look, guys, this is a minor 7 chord 2. When you add the 7th, it becomes a minor 7th. And in fact, just worth noting, guys, I've said this before in other lessons, chords 2, chords 3, and chord 6, yes, they're all minor 7 chords when you add a 7th to the triad. So we're going to do that, but what we're going to do is we're going to jump that over here. This is a lovely, 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 lovely shape, is this. So there's the triad. So look, the triad's great on its own. I'm not saying it isn't. Yeah. So I'll just switch back over to the old guitar, and I'll play the chord. Oh, hang on, we don't want that chord. We want another chord. We want chord 2. What we can do, there's the triad. So you can hear that there. That's my foundation. That's my home base. That's if anything goes wrong and I get stuck, root, flat third, fifth. I know that my minor triad is underneath there. But look, there's my flat 7 just there. Let me hit that 2 chord again. Yeah. And that's with that note on an octave higher. I love these because the groupings are just really convenient. Listen to the grouping of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Shauna, don't worry. There's lots to go on it. Just here. This is the thing. So this is D minor. So remember, in the key we've got chord 1, which is major, chord 2, which is minor, and all we're doing is we're taking the triad as a foundation, and then when we take the triad and we use that tertian movement and add the 7th, what happens is we get a flat 7. There, so that's the flat 7. There's the pattern. Those are the 2 extra notes. Look, this is a G-shaped octave. Flat 7 there, flat 7 there. Yeah, sorry to ask this question, but this may out of subject. What hand exercise can I do that my hand can play easy diagonally? It's like my hand is without seeing your hand. In action, it'd be quite hard to diagnose. It's kind of like a friend ringing you and saying, my car's broken, what's wrong with it? And you're not at his house. So hopefully that makes sense there, guys. Yeah, so but I'm circling that question in my head as well, Zidane. So you can see there, if there's a D minor chord, somebody's there and you're jamming. Yeah, you might think to yourself, what am I going to play? Ooh. Now, I jumped the gun there, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my diagram, and then I'm going to put in that extra note. Do you remember that extra note I had? Well, what we get is we get a 6th here, because this is chord 2. This is related to the Dorian mode, okay? And I'm also going to put the not note in there. So the not note is this note here. You don't have to use the not note if you don't want to. If you don't like that slidey thing. Martin Bailey, just focus on the triad shapes. Exactly. Okay. Now the thing is, what we can do now is we have a bit of a bigger pattern here now. So now I can add a bit more style to this, and this should sound, because of that major 6th, yeah, it's gonna sound very Dorian. So let's go there. Especially if I land on that note. And I'm sliding in using part of the chord 1 as well. Okay. But now what we need with this is we also need that little triad pattern. But what I'll do is go back to my diagram and let me put the triad pattern in. So I'm just going to show you, go in there, there's the root, and then we get this flat 3rd just here, and we get the 5th just here. This forms another little triangle shape. You know I love me triangles. Yeah, triangles are ace, circles are ace. You know, this is what you've got to do, okay? Right, so from that, then what I've got is I've got this. So I've added this pattern, and I'm adding root, flat third, fifth. Now I can add it. Oh, thank you, Chimp number one. I appreciate that. Thank you for that lovely, kind donation. I appreciate it. Okay. The beautiful thing about this is we get a 2 here. 1, 2. 1, 2. We can get that 3 in there just to turn things around. Okay. So it all ties in there. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Yeah, Shauna, just take your time with it. And what you do is you just practice these little bits. You just do. Just take your time with it. Practice that bit. Practice it in chunks. But understand that it comes from there. And the idea with this is if you know where chord 2 is, and this is how useful it is. Say it was here. I know this is chord 2 because there's my chord 1 and I'm in the key here of E flat. Yeah. I know that so that lives there. Oh, actually, and I forgot, we have an extra knot note in there as well. So we have an extra knot note. We can fill that in there. We can slide up and down to the flat 7 or the root. So we've got all this extra stuff we can do there. But hopefully that makes sense. Look, if I take that there, this is out of the key of C. It doesn't matter where it is. I'm just basically targeting the triad. Add the 7th, which gives me that shape there, and then I add the 6th if it's chord 2. Yeah. Okay. So I can put that in there, and it just goes anywhere you want to. There's a knot note in the middle there. Don't want to land on it. Because if I land on it, I've got to resolve it. Okay? That's augmented. So we get augmented in there. But you start to see where all these little things come in. But don't worry about it too much, Shauna. I do like that as well. Oh, yes, Scott. Oh, look. Yeah, there's one. Oh, sorry, Scott. Yeah, thank you as well, Scott. Thank you from you as well. I didn't see that one. There's a lot going on this screen. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so does this make sense? So we got that there. Now, remember, we were in C before. We've got that. That's for chord 1. There's the knot notes. You can play them if you want as well. You know, you just request the F double flat, E flat, F double flat. So have to go. See you later, Frank. See you later, mate. Have a good evening. Right, so we've got that 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord. Now the thing is, everything tallies up the same for the 3 chord. Let's have a look at that, guys. You know, this is the thing, right? So because it's a 3 chord, it's a minor chord. It's got a flat 7. Let's just duplicate that over here. Now the thing is, I've got to think about this. If I just, and what you can do, because it's the 3 chord, just refer to the mode. The mode will tell you what notes you're going to need in here. Okay, it will tell you. So the thing is, the 3 chord, what kind of 6th does it have? The Phrygian scale, what kind of 6th does it have? It has a flat 6, so it means I've got to put it here. There, look. So the difference between chord 2 and chord 3 is just that flat 6 there. But I've still got this not note that I can put in there, which means I can slide here and I can slide here as well. Okay. Then what I've got to do is I've got to put my little triad on here, and hopefully you can see how this one spots out. Triangular shape there. So that puts me up here now. Let's just have a look. Let's listen to chord 3. I've got a chord 3 here. Is that loud enough? See? You get a different sound. Can you hear that okay? Is that better? Triad. Okay, there's the triad. There's the 7ths. Okay. There's the scale note for the chord. And here is that little triangular extension. I'm just thinking of it as like an extension to the shape, really. And we're still getting us 2-1-2 patterns as well. Yeah, so that lives there. And there's the chord underneath it. That D minor chord pattern you're playing looks like the pattern 4 of the D minor scale. This one here, yes, it's recorded and it's going to stay up on YouTube as well, Eric, so don't worry. Now what I did there is I just joined them up together. I played chord 1, chord 2, chord 3. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully not too fast for you. So look, this is all in the high voice strings as well. Okay. The replays are in the Fretboard Fraternity. Yes, they are, but the PDFs are also in PDF Club as well. So right now, the thing that you should know off by heart when it comes to chord 4 and chord 1 have the same makeup. Yes, so chord 4 is a major 7. Right, and I'll just put that there. This is a minor 7. This is a minor 7. This is a major 7. So what we've got to do is we've got to take into account everything that's going to go on in here. So this is a major 7. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the major 7 just there. Right, this is another box that I need to sort out with an extra fret. Just bang an extra fret on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that 7th an octave higher there. So hopefully you can see that step 1 is the triad. Find out where the triad is. Okay. Then what we do is we add the 7th. Then what we do is looking at that E string. We're just adding that because it's the nicest place because it's really, really vocal. It's really, really vocal. Rocket, you can forget learning the 5 major scale positions. No, you can't. You've got to do it all. I'm telling you. Right? So you still need to do all the other work. Right? Now, but the thing is, you can lean on this. You just lean on this because that's the way you think about it. This is the way I think about it. It's like I think to myself, it's like I'll it an idea like this. I might base like a couple of bars on an idea like this, and then into a pentatonic, and then into a scale, and then into chord tones, and then into a lick, and then moving back into the thing again, or whatever. It's about mixing it up, and that's the thing that you need to do there, really. Okay, so look, let's go back to this now. Remember what we did before. So we've got as not notes, like I say, not notes go this way, they go that way, they go this way, and they go that way. And then what happens is we get our little triad shape there. There's a little triad shape there to make this into a much bigger sound. Yeah, so now I'm playing it up in a different position. Let me play it up here for you. We're going to have the 4 chord. Right, okay. These backing tracks as well will be available in PDF Club as well. I'll put them in there. So. Yeah, so there's the triangle. Let me just zoom in on this so you can see what's going on. Yeah. So we've got the triangle bit at the top there, and that's always on the A and the D string. So we're just moving up those. Yeah. And I could change that from being that shape, triangle, to being a bit stretchier. But if you've got short stumpy sausages like me, you might find that one easier. But some notes are worth the stretch. Yeah. Yeah, that puts that on there. You can hear it's the same quality of the chord. Listen to the personality, that major 7. Same chord. I feel like I should be singing some song from the 90s there. Right, okay, so now here's where it gets interesting. I call the not notes. The not notes are outside notes, Red Walrus, that are essentially. I'm thinking of them as being approach notes. So, like I say, in this, I've got this shape here. So I think to myself, that's a not note, and that's a not note. So I'm thinking of them as half step approach notes. So that's a note that I want to target, or that's a note I want to target. So I'm sliding down to it. Some of them I might bend up to it. As long as I control the bend. Yeah. So I can do that. If I play those together, they sound awful. Right, okay. Oh, wrong one. And then what you can do is you can see there's so many ways to take this. If I just focused on those groups of 3s on the E string, they help me. So I can use them. Yeah. So we've got that there. So that's on that note there, that chord. Now, here might buy a lottery ticket. I was just about to say Ben. Was just about to. You might buy a lottery ticket if you're thinking about buying a lottery ticket. All not notes are only a fret away from a good note. Yes, and actually, hang on, Greg, because you've raised a point there. That's the recovery method. If you are doing this and you hit a wrong note, a bum note, yeah, all you have to do is basically move one fret up or one fret down, and you'll find a recovery note. So duff note, up or down a fret, and you'll resolve in some kind of way enough to escape it. Yeah, enough to escape it. That's kind of a secret to it, really. Yeah, because you can't get it right all the time. It's like, I often think about this. You know, like, you know how if you were when you were at school and you used to do a maths test, yeah, or no, a math test, yeah. If you wouldn't get 100 out of 100 every time, would you? Unless you were one of those kids. Yeah, you wouldn't get 100 out of 100. You know what I mean? You'd miss maybe one question. If you missed one or two, you might have missed 40% of it. I don't know. It depends how good you were at maths. But what I'm saying is there's this. That's kind of the model that we tend to walk around with, thinking that life is, and with guitar, yeah, it's expected that every note that you hit has to be correct 100%. So what do? You need strategies to recover. Yeah, you need strategies to cover. So that half step up, half step down to resolve to a note that sounds something like "will save your bacon." Let's put it that way. So that's a little tangent. Is the 20 rebate for lifetime? The 20 yes, PDF Club. Yes, it is. Mrs. Ricky will message you if you want. Have you got something? Have you got a code? Oh, she's just replying. She's just reading the other room. Right. Okay. In her ivory tower, aren't you? So, okay, right. Let's get on with this. Let's crack on, because there's still 3 chords to go at, guys. Right. So here we got a different one. I love this one. This is chord 5. Okay, ordinary. It's got a major triad underneath it. But what we're gonna do is it's gonna give us a dominant 7th chord. Yeah, this is a dominant chord sound. That's something more to do with cadences and how chords resolve and move to each other, and chord progressions work, really. So we'll leave that one for now. But the main thing to notice with chord 5 and the dominant is it's not like chord 1 and chord 4 having a major 7. It's got a flat 7. So if I go from a root note here, I can discover my flat 7 lives just there. So my flat 7 lives just there. Now, look at this. I can just play that over there on that octave beautifully. Lovely little shape. I adore this shape. So we've got that there. Now what I can do, let's just carry on. We've got the triad, we've got the 7th. Let's put the other note in there. Let's have a look. Let me just remind myself. Yeah, I thought it was. I'm second guessing myself there. Right, so what we're going to put is we're going to put in the 6th just here, which you can think of as being a 13th. There's the not note. Okay, there is your not note. We can put in the root, the 3rd, and the 5th there, and get that upper, that lower sounding structure, that triangular structure, that shape there. So we've got this one here. Now, this is all completely movable, guys. Remember what I said. We're thinking about this, in terms of, different keys. We can do this in different keys. Let me pick. And where's chord 5? Let me just put chord 5 up here. So here's chord 5. So here's the triad. Sounds a bit boring. Let me zoom in. There's the triad. Yeah, but as long as you know that that's the foundation, that's the value, you know that this is going to lead to something else. And there's the 7th just there, the flat 7. Okay, so let me just play that chord again. And then I double it up. Adding that in there, and I'm barring over those 2 notes there. You could use 2 fingers there, really. The scale note we've got is this. So we've got the root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7 there. We've got a 6th here, and the not note lives just here. So if I listen to that, I'll play that there. You can hear it sounds off. But if I bend up to it, that's what I was on about with the escape. Listen to let me put that. Bend it up. As long as I don't hold it too long. Yeah. There's that little pattern just sitting at the top. You could practice those. So just practicing those little patterns is a good idea as well. Lost in Music. I don't know what it was. It was the Mr. Wendell. Oh, it might have been Because the Things You Do to Me. The Thing About You. It might have been something. Might have been something like that one. Okay, so look. So now I can play that chord there. So someone's playing a 9th chord. Anywhere there's a 9th chord, guys. Look. I know where it is. I know where that. There. These shapes follow the chords around. Yeah. Yeah, I can even put a not note in there. I'll put that not note in. Oh, that's a bit too much. Maybe altered dominance. But this is what you could do. Yeah, maybe Fugees. Steely Dan, it might be. I can't. It sounds very familiar. But there you go. Right, so that is that one. You're having trouble bending them, Christopher. What I'd say, Chris, is I'm using 9s. Use 9s. Don't fight. Hang on, emphasis on the old mugshot. Don't fight your guitar. There's no glory in it. You're not Stevie Ray Vaughan. He liked to play the heavy gauge strings and things like that. But there's no glory in it. You make life easy for yourself. Go the same way that who was it that plays 8s? Tony Iommi, I think, and somebody else. Yngwie Malmsteen plays with 8s, 8 gauge. There's a really thin, really easy to bend. But the thing is, if you do that, then if you do lower the gauge of your strings, then your truss rod will need adjusting, because you'll get more of a bow on the neck, more of a concave bow, and your action will be raised. So you might need to get that adjusted. If you're confident, you can put an Allen key in, righty tighty, lefty loosey. That's the way to do it. So that's what I would say, you know, with that one there. Let's have a look in the comments there. 9's a good string gauge. You can bend any note as long as you bend it to another note in the scale. Don't bend to a not note on purpose. No, don't bend to a not note. And that's the thing that people do with the root note. They bend the root note up to a flat 9, which is a not note. Yes, it's like it's tricky as that one. You've got to watch out for that. Right, so Billy Gibbons uses 7s. Crikey, those must be skinny. You best not breathe on them. I bet they just snap. Pretty stuff. Okay, this week got something pretty heavy stuff to put in my head. Good stuff. Too slinky for your taste. Tony plays with 2 8s, E and A. Yeah. So look, that's the thing with the string gauges there. Right, let me crack through these guys. Let me crack on with this one. So this is chord 6. Let's get through this now. Chord 6. Yeah, it's the same setup, like I say, with this, but we've got to think about it. That we borrow from the scale formula for chord 6 if we want to think about it modally. Remember, when we thought about chord 6, we knew it was Aeolian, and Aeolian has a flat 6. So that's what we think about when we're looking at this with it. But we know that it's going to be a minor 7 chord. We've got the triad, the minor triad there. Let's put the flat 7 in. Let's put the flat 7 just here. I'm going to put the flat 6 in, and look, the same pattern. We get exactly the same pattern there. Look, as chord 3, exactly the same thing. And then we've got the not note there that we can bang in. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the little triad here, root, third, root, flat 3rd, 5th. Come on, brain. All right, so let me just draw this in. There's that triangular shape. Oh, look, and don't forget, I can have this little not note there that'll go between that flat 7 and the root note as well. Yes, and this is the natural place for putting your box 1 on as well, guys. Look, so well, no, not in this shape, but it would be if it was the E shape. Let's have a look. Digital zoom and pan. Let's stick that on. So we've gone chord 1, chord 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're getting up into the dusty end of the neck. There's the triad. Right, there's the triad. Let me place a chord on the thingy. I use those little... Now put the flat 7 in. And then that flat 6. There's the not note, and I bent it up to a note that we need. Okay, so let me just hit that again. So 2-1-2 into a 2-1-2. Take your time with it. Nope. Yep, so the thing is there. So that takes us to that one. Now, we're gonna get onto him. We're gonna do old Wobbly Bob. We've got to do old Wobbly Bob. Chord 7. Just do it. Do the t-shirt, Ricky. Have I set this up right? Have I done this right? This one here. I might have done. So we've got flat 7 here, right? Now I like this one because of the symmetry. Yes. The thing is, this chord is essentially, when it's half diminished, it's a minor 7 flat 5. Yeah. And in fact, just to show that it's half diminished, I'll put a half. I'll cut it in half there. Okay, Rocket, that's because there's some notes that are missing. There's no second. The chord 3 for Phrygian has a flat second, whereas chord 6 has a major second. Yeah, we haven't got a 4th in these either. So the thing is, there's notes missing. So really, that it just happens that the notes from chord 3 and chord 6, they match. They're the same. It just so happens, and that's the way it is. Now, if I take this flat 7 here and I bung it up an octave there, right? So you can see I've got that there, right? And then what I can do is I'm just going to pop over here, put my root note in again. Because this is a minor 7 essentially, but with a flattened fifth, what I need to do is I need to think about where I'm going to put my third. I'm going to put my flat third here. My fifth would ordinarily go here, but I'm going to put this flat 5 in here. And it gives me this jaunty little shape. And I love this little shape because, let me get another colour, because it really pops out to me, does this. We get a little diamond in the middle of this one, but we've got this diamond here. Yeah, got this diamond shape here. Yes, Maria, don't worry. No worries about that. I fully understand. But look, we have another little triangle here. We have a triangle with a diamond, and then you could even think of that as being a triangle, could you? You could indeed, I think. And then what we're going to do is we think about it with this note as well. The fifth would be here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get the flat 6 just here in the middle. So we get a group of 3 there, and we have 2 more not notes that live inside this pattern. Now, the thing is, this chord sounds but ugly, right? We're on its own without context, but you can overlay this. Yes. Good night, Maria. Have a good night's sleep. So, hooroo! This definitely needs another watch. Definitely. Thank you very much, Shane. So, okay, we've got that shape there. All it is shapes, guys. Let me zoom in. Now, chord 7. This is a minor 7 flat 5. Hear the tension on that. That's a B minor 7 flat 5. Okay, I'm going to play it up here. I'll play it up here. So what I do is I'm going to go root, flat third, and then to that flat 5. That's a really common pattern. Then I'm going to play out that little diamond shape. Yes, Eric, bow tie. I think it looks like a bit like a wonky TIE fighter. So look, we've got the 2-1-2 thing again. And the not notes. Now if I play the 5 chord, you can hear it still works. So go from the 5. Back to 1. Yeah, so back to the 1 chord. Triad, 7th, fill note, not note, little triangle at the top. So there's so many bits. There's just these little bits that you can add to it in properly set hourglass. Okay, guys. Now, right? There's a lot. Yes, relaxing meditation. There's a lot to unpack in that. In everything there. Okay. Now, and it's not really, it's like an elephant. Like I say, don't consume it all in one go. Oh, thank you very much, Ken. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words as well. Yeah, what you do is, you know, revert to the original lesson in the book. Go to the original lesson in the book. Follow along with that to get those triads first. Yeah. But then once you've got those triads, you can then associate them with the seventh chord. Yeah. So that you get that seventh chord as well. So confused. Uh, a favorite lesson of the year so far. You see, this is the thing. This is the whole point of these Wednesday night guitar classes. It's take the lessons from the book, clarify them, expand upon them, and then cross them over into other lessons as well. And this is a lovely little framework. You just need, guys, I would just say, put a chord on. If you've got a looper, yeah, if you've got a looper, or you've got some way, if you've got some way of recording one chord, yeah, just you could just say to yourself, I'm just going to record a C major chord, yeah, or it doesn't matter which chord it is. You just go D major. You just record that. You just go like that. Just record that. Right, make sure it loops round, and then you can go. Right, I'll go with it with the triads. I've got the triads, and I'll put the major 7 in. I'm not even going to put the other one in yet on the octave. I'll just get used to this bit first. Oh, hang on, I added that extra note. There's the octave. Make little phrases up. Look at that. That's a little kooky thing that I'd probably work on. Just keeps your ear listening. Yeah, and that's just underneath that. And it works everywhere. And this is the secret, guys. So the chord comes along, and if you do the key-based playing, where you think to yourself, oh, it's in C major, and then suddenly it goes somewhere else where you don't know where it is, but you know what the chord is, and you think to yourself, is it major, minor, or is it dominant? What you can do is you go, oh, it's major, man. So it's like that pattern will fit, and you have something as a foundation. It's something that you can have as a foundation to build upon. But start on one chord, then record two chords. Yeah, so record two chords fairly close to each other. Yeah, so maybe chord 1, chord 2. Then you might think to yourself, I'll be brave and I'll be bold, and I'll play chord 1 and chord 4. Yeah, and you might say to yourself, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll do chord 2 to chord 5, and then when you get to doing chord 2 to chord 5, that's when you're getting into the good stuff, because 2 5s come up all the time. And then you think to yourself, all right, well, I'll do 3 chords, and you do a 2 5 1. Then you've got something that you can really dig into. 2 5 1s are basically the language of music. They're kind of the common vocabulary in a lot of music. 2 5 1. If you put 6 in front of it, 6 2 5 1. You've got Ave Maria. You've got Islands in the Sun by Weezer. There's so many songs use the 6 2 5 1 chord progression, and that means that you can just play along with this and use this system. Okay, just use this system. It's a little system, and that's the way I kind of think about it. It's just like, but you're building it on those triads. But start with those foundation triads. Okay, build it around those foundation triads, and you're golden. You will be golden. Okay, right. So all that remains to say is, if you don't have to have the book, it's criminal. Was this mic better? I'm hoping this mic was a lot better today. It richer, made me sound like I'm one of those posh London late night TV show host people. So you can find these chord relations in the circle of fifths, or am I just over circling? The circle of fifths might be a bit too much, but the thing is, if you follow the circle of fifths, you can boil the chords down. Yeah, you can boil the chords down into major, minor, and dominant. Yeah, so the thing is, if you're doing 2 5 1s over the circle of fifths, which is a very common practice, then basically you do 2 5-1s and then you just change in position. Really, there's a lot more movement to it, but there is something. There's more to this. There is more to this. There's a lot. There's a lot to this, and this is just one side of it, really. So this is a big lesson as it is, but it's part of a bigger idea as well. So, and I think that kind of just about wraps it up. But if you haven't got the book and you want the book, get the book there. There, I gotta twist my hand around that way. You can scan that. I don't know if that's scanned. I don't know if that QR code actually works. So we'll do that. If you're not in the fretboard fraternity, make sure you join the fretboard fraternity. Become one of the gang. If you're in the chat here, you were already one of the gang. You don't need any more permission to join us. It'd be great to see you in there. And if you do go in there and you want to, Mrs. Ricky's just putting in some. Oh, she's putting in a code for PDF Club, and here you go. And if you want PDF Club, which is the only way. Oh, Red Walrus, thank you very much. I super appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, crikey! They're all firing off these super chats tonight. Thank you very much. Never expect them, so always a blessing. Thank you very much. Lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so PDF Club, it's there. Have a look, see what you think. If it's there, use that code, and it'd be great to see you in there. That gets you all the PDFs for all this stuff. I have secretly, as you can tell, this is a printout, but I've got a fancy schmancy one. But I'll put in PDF Club. I'll scan this and I'll upload this into PDF Club along with the fancy schmancy one that I've done. It's about 4 pages. So it just breaks it down a little bit more, bit by bit. Lesson 23, page 29. Oh, let's have a look at this one. Will be really helpful with this one. Which one are you on about? Because it's like, let me consult the old book. 29. Yes, that Jen. Yes, we can see that. That's the one. Randy, good to see you here, mate. I haven't seen you for a while. Kickstart is going to come next week. If you look in the video description for this, Kickstart's going to be launched this week. It's an absolute beginner's guitar class. If you're already en route, then it's probably not for you, but I have an absolutely cool course coming up on chords that is just about there as well. So there's that. But this is a different thing. Which diagram? That one there. I tell you what, you might have to rewind. You might have to rewind a bit. Let's have gone then. Let's have a look. So there you go. There's the messy one. There's the messy diagram. Look, so here's it. That's the thing, guys. Yeah. So get in there. Jeff said this has solved some of the unknowns in his landscape. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, gents. YouTube Music Portal, Derek F. Love that song. Right, so Thunder Ace is in the chat. Thank you, dude. My original OG. Oh, crikey. Michael, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Inspirational. What can I say? Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. So, what was I going to do? Yes, new book. That's what I was going to say. I was going to address new book. I probably got enough for volume 2, but it took a while to put together. I want to get these 2 courses out of the way, and then I'll look at pulling out volume 2. But volume 2 will be one that couples with book 1. It'll be an expansion pack if you want to think about it in that way. So that's the way we're going to look at it. Yeah, with that one there. Oh, Michael, it's your first. It just told me it's your first super chat. So thank you for giving me your first ever super chat. I appreciate that. Okay, so I think have I done all my all the things I need to do? PDF's going into PDF Club. Make sure you join the Fretboard fraternity. Thank you guys for rocking up and bearing with me in the technical issues with the old microphone. This might be the way forward. Maybe it is. Maybe I just need it hanging down here and just a kind of just in shot. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? This is a pop shield on it. Yeah, it looks quite nice. So little things please little minds, don't they? You know, pop shield on your microphone. Book 2 with breakdown homework lessons. Well, there's always going to be videos, you know, and the thing is, gives me something else to teach as well on Wednesdays. You know, Wednesday I'll just say book 2. Right, okay. Chunky elephants need the relish. Lovely lesson. Oh, I like that one. Sean's off to get some pizza. Thank you for tuning in, guys. So look, remember, don't quit. Keep practicing. Look after yourself. Look after each other. Have a great week. Get some practice in. A little bit of practice every day. That's all you need, guys. That's all you need. Bit of practice every day. It happens. It takes time. Okay? Okay, it takes time. So I will see you next week for next week's lesson. Take care. Bye-bye. See you later.